welcome to our video on similar shapes. These are some sample problems from the 6th grade New York State test, but they are problems that can be helpful, I think, just in general on this topic. Now the topic says calculate the length of corresponding sides of similar triangles using proportional reasoning. What does that mean? Well, corresponding sides, if we look at our triangles here, it's just the sides, right? In one sense, that have the same location on both shapes. They have the same location on both shapes. So these are both on the bottom of the triangles. So they're relatively in the same spot. They're corresponding. And now it's hard to tell in this shape, and but sometimes it might seem that the two bottom sides correspond, but they don't. So if you're not sure, you can look at the angles. Then they'll label angles to let you know. So if this angle right here, let's say, was 91 degrees, right? Or it looks more like maybe 100 and so degrees, and this is also 100, right? And then you could tell that, and then this angle over here, let's say, is 30, and so is this one, and they match at 30, and these are both 40, right? Then you know for sure that, well, first of all, you'd have similar triangles because they have the same angles, the corresponding angles, but also these sides would have to correspond to each other. So if you're not sure, you can try and check the angles, or they might tell you something like, this is triangle A with vertices A, B, C, and triangle B has corresponding vertices of D, E, F. And they would say it like that. So they would say A, B, C, and they'd write it like this, corresponds to D, E, F. That also tells you that the order corresponds, and so they write it on purpose in this order to say that this point corresponds to this one, and this point corresponds to that one, and C corresponds to F, in the order that it appears in when they write it. So that's useful. But anyway, so what do we do? Now, similar triangles are super fun and helpful. This is just a simple problem to get us started, but what we notice is maybe that, well, if I take 10 centimeters and I want to get 30, what do? Well, I take 10 centimeters and multiply it by 3, and that will give me 30 centimeters. And if I couldn't figure that out, or if it was a nastier combination to figure out what to multiply by, I would just divide. I would say 30 divided by 10 is 3. So to get from 10 to 30, I multiply by 3. Now, since they're similar shapes, right? 4 times 3 is also 42. Well, then 8 times 3 has to give us the unknown value. That's the idea of similar shapes. You take all of the lengths, all of the sides, the corresponding sides, and scale them up by the same multiple. So 8 times 3 is what? That's 24. So this side right here is 24 centimeters, and that's our answer. This next problem, notice here we have triangle M and P. So M and P is similar to triangle QRS. So these points correspond, right? Q corresponds to M, R corresponds to N, and S corresponds to P. And they're similar triangles, which means these angles, these corresponding angles, are all equal. So this angle must equal that one. Angle SRQ has to equal PNM, and this last angle has to also equal this angle right here. And also, even though the sides might be longer or shorter, since they're similar triangles, it tells me that if I took this side and multiplied it by 4 to get 12, right, because 3 times 4 is 12, since we have similar triangles, we have to do that to all the sides, right? So every side in this larger triangle will be 4 times longer than its corresponding side on the smaller triangle. So X has to be 4 times smaller, and we can see that it's smaller than this side right here, than 18. So what we can do is say 18 divided by 4 will give me the missing value. How do I do that? Well, I think about it like this. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, 4 times 5 is 20. Well, we want to get 18, right? And 4 times 5 is too large. So 4 goes into 18, that's what this is saying, at least 4 times. So x equals 4, and then there's some left over. How much? Well, 4 times 4 is 16, and we're trying to get to 18. So 18 minus 16 is 2. There's 2 left over, the remainder is 2. Now, so my answer would be 4 remainder 2. But here we don't have that. So you can think of this as 4, and then we're finding out what? We're finding out how many of these 4s go into 18. So 4 of them go into 18, and there's 2 left over, which is really 2 out of 4. Right? If your goal is to find out how many 4s go into 18, well, here 4 whole 4s go into 18, and then 2 out of 4 goes into the 18, and that is what? That's 4 and 1/2, which is just 4.5. So our answer is C, 4.5 inches. And there are many other videos and applications of similar triangles, and we'll go over those. So I hope you get excited about this topic. It's definitely one of my favorites.